Hey guys, cruals here. And lately I've been getting a lot of questions asking me how I composite my characters and my scenes. So today I decided to make a tutorial showing how I could usually composite. So first of all, start by making a mask of your character. Don't mind my ass mask. And then you're gonna want to pre-compose that mask, which I already did. After pre-composing, you're gonna want to add curves. Just gonna put on and start by adjusting the curves like this. Kind of make it darker. Then you're gonna want to add drop shadow. And for right now, we're not gonna touch the drop shadow. The only thing we're gonna touch is the shadow only. Turn it on. Add set matte. Add CC composite. And lastly, tint. So for CC composite, you're gonna want to turn RGB only off. And usually shadow shows, but in this case it's not. So go to composite original and turn behind on. So now look where your light source is, and in my case is on the right. You're gonna want to adjust the kind of the shadow in the direction that the light's dropping, which is gonna be kind of like in the middle for me. After adjusting it, you're gonna want to change the distance. Usually anywhere from between 35 to 45 is good. I'm gonna do 39. And then I start by upping the softness to around 139. So after add looks. In looks, you can either make your own color corrections, or there's pre-made ones. So usually, sometimes the pre-made ones are good, but in this case, I'm going to show you guys how to make the color correction yourself. So start by adding shadows and highlights. Don't really touch the highlights. I mean, you can up it, but just up it just a tad bit like that. And then make the shadows -1. Go to Mojo and change it to around 9. 9 to 11 works. Up the tint, up the punch, and don't make the bleach that high. You can up the skin squeeze and the blue squeeze, and you only really need to touch the skin yellow and pink just a tad bit. Don't up it like all the way because it makes everything pink, but something like a 15 works. Then after you're gonna want to add LUT, and in LUT you usually just want to like scope around for the best colors. I usually go from Polaris Max Scene, Fall is here, Subtle, or Tranquility. And in this case I'm going to use Subtle. You're going to want to turn the strength down to 75. I'm not going to touch it. Edge softness, you're going to want to adjust. So make your character the center of the blur. And you're going to want to turn the blur size down. And you're going to want to adjust the aspect and the radius, like so. Then you're going to want to add diffusion. And I don't really touch the diffusion settings. I kind of just touch the color. But in this case, I'm going to touch the size and the grade. Then after go to Colorista. And in Colorista, the shadows, midtones, and highlights, you just want to play around with, and whatever looks best you use. So I'm gonna make it dark blue, like so. Just that. Kind of make it something like that. Then after this, you're gonna want to add duotone. And in duotone, sometimes you don't touch it because it looks good. But in this case, I'm gonna fix it because it doesn't look the greatest. Something like that works. And then you are gonna add haze flare. And in haze flare, you kind of really don't touch anything else but the color. But it just depends on your scene. I'm gonna up the softness, and that's basically it. You can add S curve or color blend. but it's not 100% needed. In this case, this is all we need. So after you made your color correction, you're gonna want to add a black solid. Whatever mask looks best, I guess, with your scene. So go ahead and press M, and then you're gonna start by upping the feather. Anywhere from 350 to 500 works for the black solid. Turn the opacity down ever so slightly, and then press T and then drop the opacity again. Add another solid, but this time it's gonna be white. And so the color, like the color from the sky, is in the corner of the right. So I'm gonna kind of make a mask like this to kind of just like get that. And then you're gonna want to press M again. Up the feather. This time you're gonna want to make the feather even higher for the white. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah. Drop the opacity, and then press T and drop the opacity again, and it's gonna look like that. And then you're gonna want to add an adjustment layer, and in here you're gonna want to add camera lens blur, and you're gonna want to make a mask of the adjustment layer. Kind of make it in the back of her, or the back of your character. In this case, I'm gonna do like the back of her leg and her katana, like so. And I'm not gonna touch that. Then what you're gonna want to do is add a black solid again, and you're gonna want to make a mask kind of towards the feet, like this. It just it depends if you have bars or not, but in my case I'm not gonna add bars. So I'm just gonna make something like that, and then up the feather. You don't really need to make the feather that high because it's the feet, but kind of like 250 or 350 works. And then drop the opacity, and it's gonna look something like that. And then you're gonna want to add an adjustment layer, and here we're gonna add optical flares. So in my case, my optical flares doesn't come with a customization, which yours probably does, but yeah. So go to render mode and then place over original, and then you're gonna want to take the position XY, put it in the corner somewhere off your screen. Take the center position, and what I usually like to do is put it over my character, like so. And you don't really need to play with the brightness or the scale, but I'm gonna up it, the brightness and the scale, just a tad bit, something like that. But that's a little bit too much. Yeah, so something like that. And then what you're gonna want to do is take a color from the sky and make it similar, and it's gonna look something like that. It's basically just personal preference. So make another adjustment layer and add CC light rays. And after adding CC light rays, what you're gonna want to do is make the center position kind of like the tip of whatever your character has, and in this case it's gonna be the katana. And you can play with the intensity and the warp softness, and I'm gonna make it look like something like that. And then you can duplicate it and kind of add it on the hair, but I don't want to do that, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. And then that's kind of it. There's gonna be more towards it, but I don't want to make this tutorial too long. Kind of just giving you the basics of whatever. And so yeah, I hope you learned something, and peace.